Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be big business. Like, check this out. Deadpool and Wolverine breaks 2024 a day one ticket sales record. But I know what you're thinking. Don, this doesn't come out until the end of July. Yep, that's how desperate Disney is, okay? They're just trying to gauge the waters to see how much we can milk from our last guaranteed victory. Because at this point in time, do we even know, especially with the current lineup of the Avengers, which, if you know what it is, just please let me know, because I have no idea. This is the last time that they can go ahead and reliably say that this thing has the potential to turn a profit. Everything else, who even knows? Who even knows? But the fact that we are just about 2 months removed. This is the end of July. July 26th, right? This one ultimately comes out. And we are ready, have tickets on sale. Kind of screams desperation, if we're being honest. Information behind Deadpool and Wolverine's day one ticket sales have been released, revealing that the film has broken 2024 records, with Deadpool and Wolverine being the only Marvel movie released in 2024 connected to the MCU. Many are curious to see how the film will perform. Upcoming Marvel movies are facing a lot of pressure to regain the franchise's box office dominance, and none of them are going to do the same numbers that Deadpool and Wolverine are going to do, as revealed by Fandango. Deadpool and Wolverine has broken the 2024 record for day one ticket sales. Well, who had the quote-unquote record? Marvel film has outperformed other 2024 blockbusters thus far. Nothing has been a blockbuster this year, like, let's keep it a buck, including the likes of Dune Part 2. That's probably the closest. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I don't even know how well that thing's performed because nobody's talking about it, and the only time that I hear anything in regards to that is just it's the worst of the Apes quote-unquote reboot franchise. It lacks characters and its plot is stupid. And then The Fall Guy, like, it was only in theaters for 2 weeks. It's already on streaming, for Christ's sakes. And Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, which, yeah, less said about that, the better. The success does not end here, though, as Deadpool and Wolverine's first day sales on Fandango are the best for the Deadpool franchise, which, again, what does that really mean? But I've seen other reports that the pre-sales for the tickets are between $8 and $9 million, at least at time of reporting. Things will ultimately pick up as we get closer to the release date, but it's kind of interesting the way that this film is getting marketed, because Disney knows that this is, it's do or die on this one, okay? If they can try to stimulate any sort of excitement in their beleaguered franchise, well, they're going to have to take advantage of it now or it's never. And the way that Ryan Reynolds is trying to excite the masses, well, it's interesting. I am 50-50 on this, but let's get through a couple of the statements here. Ryan Reynolds was surprised and grateful Disney allowed an R rating for Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, it also indicates how desperate they are. The film, due out July 26th, will make history as Marvel's first R-rated movie. Yeah, but they apparently had their first R-rated TV show and nobody remembers it. Ryan Reynolds said this week that he was surprised Disney allowed the R rating in the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine movie. The film, out to July 26th, will be Marvel's first R movie. I hope this doesn't sound condescending. I'm really proud of them for doing this, Ryan Reynolds said during an interview with Fandango. It's a huge step for them, really, as it adds a whole color to this kaleidoscope wheel that the company and the different people that they've had been entertaining for forever. I mean, listen, man, just because it's R-rated, it doesn't mean that any of the previous stories couldn't have been written better. It's just, yeah, going to have more blood, nudity, and dick jokes. Okay, cool, fantastic. Those aspects inherently on their face don't make or break a film. Unless, of course, you're talking about certain types of videos consigned to certain X-rated websites. Anyways, Deadpool and Wolverine will also feature crossover with Hugh Jackman's Logan. Yes, the X-Men character for the movie, the same, yes, in 2017, which is also rated R. Yeah, and people reference Logan, 2017 Logan, as one of the best superhero films of all time, and it has very little to do with its R rating. Just saying. Director Sean Levy, also present for the interview, echoed Reynolds' point. We were clear from the get-go. If the three of us are going to do this, we've got to be truthful to the tone of a Deadpool movie. And that means we're not softening the edges. We're going to be audacious and funny and edgy. I sure hope for the people that are excited about this, they end up getting it. Like I said, I'm even watching those trailers, it doesn't really do it for me. I like to see Wolverine in the suit. I like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. But this has got to be a transcendental experience, okay? This has got to be one of those 1 in a million type films to even get me interested to go and see it. especially when I see more marketing like this. Wow, we're so grateful that we got an R rating. It's like, yeah, Disney needs to make something happen, and if you're going to do Deadpool, you're going to be honest to the source material. Yeah, it's kind of got to be open to that. So Ryan Reynolds hides an edgy disclaimer for his edgy movie in the latest Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, which, yeah, here's where I'm more 50-50 on this marketing. Kind of like it, but then I'm also a little cynical on it. This film is as paper thin as the sequel to Battlefield Earth. We're mostly going to beat each other senseless, make enemies with Disney, tell a few dick jokes, make a few jokes at my expense, make a lot of jokes at Hugh's expense, and completely sidestep Marvel's mandated after credits sequence, which, if you haven't figured out yet, is always just a commercial for another movie, which will invariably end with a commercial for another movie. So sit back, relax, let us lower your IQ and raise your heart rate while we travel to a vapid dreamland, a place where grown men and grown women walk around in tights and act like it's not a giant cultural cry for help. This is cinema. Yeah, you know, hey man, depending on how he delivered it, maybe it could be absolutely hilarious. But I read that and it's like, this is not going to be good. There's going to be explosions, there's going to be blood, there's going to be cussing, and then there's going to be a couple of characters that you know and love from source material that isn't this, that isn't going to pay attention to this, that yeah, we're going to tell jokes at our expense, but everybody's kind of looking forward to you making jokes at the expense of Disney, at the expense of Marvel, because you take a look at public perception of Disney and Marvel, and if you need to make a joke out of actual jokes, there's easy fodder right there. So yeah, also for a lot of people that have been criticizing the disposability of these later day Marvel outputs, saying that the film is as thin as paper thin as a sequel to Battlefield Earth doesn't necessarily inspire confidence in people. But yeah, no, this is promotional material. These are just more jokes. He's in Deadpool character. Of course he's going to say this, but why would you say this? Why would you go on and have other earnest remarks that we're just trying to tell some jokes, that Hugh's going to end up taking a bunch of jokes, that there's not going to be one of those stupid after credit sequences that Marvel popularized? They didn't start with the trend, but they very much took advantage of it. Yeah, he's being honest. It's always just been key jangling for the next Marvel project. Everybody's noticed that. Okay. So yeah, sit back, relax, let us lower your IQ and raise your heart rate, which, yeah, back in the cut, that never used to be a problem, okay? That used to be something that people would look forward to with going to the cinema when they check out the latest Fast and the Furious, when they would check out the latest superhero film. But we also know this is a Disney project. This is a Marvel project. They're also going to try to do other things over the top of this, but hey, man, maybe this is just Ryan Reynolds' little pet project, Sean Levy, both of those guys, they did the previous two Deadpool films, okay? For whatever they were, people liked them. This is Hugh Jackman coming back at a time when he didn't want to bring back the character, but only because this project crossed his desk, he decided that, nah, it's time to put back on the claws. Maybe it's going to be something special. I'm just saying, man, don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up, especially in 2024 and anything that could potentially have Disney attached to it. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.